There's been a dramatic update in the investigation into the deaths of 6 tourists, including 2 Australians, following that mass methanol poisoning in Laos. Police in that country have detained 8 employees of the hostel where Bianca Jones and Holly Bowles was staying when they fell ill.
It comes as their families made an emotional return home to Melbourne last night. We'll have the latest from there in just a moment. But first, our correspondent Bill Birtles is covering the investigation on the ground.
The manager and a bartender at the Nana Backpackers Hostel are among the people who have been detained. Laos state media publishing a list of 8 names, all of them staff from that accommodation provider, and an official in the tourist town of Vang Vieng has also directly confirmed to the ABC that the hostel is the primary focus of the police investigation. This comes as authorities in Laos were increasingly under pressure to show some progress and transparency. It also comes as a 3rd Australian reportedly suffered ill effects from suspected methanol poisoning earlier this month. That person is reportedly in a stable condition and receiving assistance from the Department of Foreign Affairs. Now, the police in Laos haven't ruled out that other bars in the town of Vang Vieng may have served the tainted alcohol, but the detention of 8 people from the Nana hostel makes it very clear that they think the whiskey and vodka that was offered to people staying there is the most likely cause of the methanol poisoning. In total, 6 people died, but it's not exactly clear how many others were affected. A backpacker who knew some of the victims has conducted an informal survey which suggests it could be more than a dozen others who had some sort of illness while travelling through that town and staying at that hostel earlier this month. The Australian government has offered assistance to Lao police for their investigation. And even though there have been some concerns about whether this investigation will be carried out transparently, the government in Laos nonetheless has vowed to bring the perpetrators to justice.
That's Bill Birtles reporting there. Well, the families of Australian teenagers, as we said, Bianca Jones and Holly Bowles, touched down at Melbourne Airport last night. Mietta Adams is there. Mietta, the families arrived overnight.
Well, that's right, Bridget. Late last night, the families of Bianca and Holly arrived here in Melbourne Airport last night. It comes more than a week after they rushed to be by their bedsides after they fell ill from drinking drinks laced with methanol. Sadly, of course, they both died, Bianca and Holly, days between each other. Now, late last night, Mark Jones, which is Bianca's father, spoke to the media and he told us about how much he missed Bianca, but also said that he was glad that there were now developments in the investigation in Laos. Here's what he had to say.
We want to grieve. We miss our daughters desperately. I was happy to hear that there's been some movement over in Laos. I would continue to urge the Lao government to continue to pursue whomever. We will make every effort we can to help raise awareness of the methanol poisoning. We cannot have our girls passing and this continuing to happen.
Mr Jones also said how he was so grateful for the outpouring of support he's seen from the community in the past week. He said particularly that support from Vic Pol, Federal Police, as well as the government. There's also been tributes that have been flowing across the community since, of course, the sad news of their deaths over the weekend. There was a small vigil held at the Beaumaris Football Club for the community to lean on each other. But we've also seen in the past couple of days a GoFundMe launched to help the families of Holly Bowles and Bianca Jones. That's already raised over $330,000. That's to raise awareness for methanol, the risks of methanol poisoning, and also to help pay for their repatriation back home. But for now, as the families arrive home, they've asked for space as they mourn the loss on home soil.
Mietta, thanks very much.